They're in the gate. Humidity restless in the outside post. Settles, and they're off. A step so away was Goodwood Galaxy from stall number 9, also from stall 1, Laureate Crown, not that fast into stride and outpaced in the early stages of the Coral Vintage Stakes with towards the inside. It's Do or Do Not, now being taken on through by Gama Sutra, and Gama Sutra now comes through to take the lead as they go around their first turn. Vincenzo Perugia now races into second. The inside Dorset is keen in third. Humidity with a noseband is in fourth. Do or Do Not has been shuffled back to fifth. Then Zavateri around the outside. Next in the field is Laureate Crown with Andab on his outside. Goodwood Galaxy has passed one. Morris Dancer is now last and already into the home straight and through halfway in the Coral Vintage Stakes. And it is Gama Sutra and Sean Levy who've got the lead over Vincenzo Perugia. Raced in second for David Egan. Now being hustled along. Humidity by James Doyle urging this one to close in third. Dorset towards the inside rail in fourth. Do or Do Not now unleashed down the wide outside, followed into the race now by Zavateri. There's a furlong and a half to go. They're bunching up. Humidity, Zavateri and Do or Do Not on the outside. Morris Dancer is staying on, but it is Zavateri who has taken the lead. A half furlong to go. Zavateri, Do or Do Not down the outside. Morris Dancer, there's another 100 yards to go. Morris Dancer now edging. It's very tight. Zavateri lunged right on the line with Morris Dancer in a head bob for the Coral Vintage Stakes. That is desperately close between Zavateri and Morris Dancer.
He is tough and he is talented, and that tells you that Zavateri has won the Coral Vintage Stakes, and he's done so under his penalty for success in the July Stakes at Newmarket. He has beaten into second Morris Dancer for the Gosdens and William Buick, another good run for a Clarehaven horse, and in third, and boy, oh boy, has this maiden run well again, Do or Do Not, who was behind Zavateri at Newmarket, but today he's been in receipt of the penalty and he's been beaten a little bit further. Johnson Houghton is doing some line in 2-year-olds, and 8-1. Zavateri has given her another win and an important race with Havana Hurricane to represent the yard in the Richmond Stakes later in the week. Well, it's been a fine time of things for her. It's been a fine time of things for her stable jockey, Charlie Bishop, who steered this willing son of Without Parole in the colours of Mick and Janice Mariscotti to another really gritty success. And he's done so, I think, with a little bit in hand.
Oh, he's so tough. What an attitude this horse has. I agree. I think he's possibly found a little bit extra when Morris Dancer came to him. And he's seen this trip out seriously well. I mean, he's going to see out the mile, isn't he? No problem. You just see as they've got a strong gallop throughout, and as they really quicken, I thought this horse looked as if he was outpaced. Charlie switched him, and as the gap opens, just finds an extra gear and off he goes. And this was tough.
Morris Dancer, the Royal Blue, down the outside. He's run a fine race, and he still looks as though he's got a little bit to learn. He
has, and actually at the halfway point, you'd nearly argue that he was slightly detached. I don't know if that was by design or not, but William Buick's given this horse a seriously patient ride, and he was sat last pretty much throughout. So he's shown a seriously good turn of foot in the last couple of furlongs. We can see from the start. Now, we thought there was going to be loads of pace on and quite a few front runners, but I think everyone's thought the same, and no one's ended up wanting to go forward. Gama
Sutra has ended up in front and settled okay for a relatively inexperienced horse after a little while, but look to the inside, the grey, Dorset. Ryan Moore couldn't really get him switched off early.
No, he was really keen, wasn't he? And the first furlong wasn't run at a fast pace. It was at this point that Sean Levy let Gama Sutra just stride on a little bit, and it was a sort of a building gallop from here on in. You can see the runner-up literally sat last. William Buick sort of nudging him along, possibly didn't handle the track totally, still learning, as you say. So that is quite a performance to finish second from all the way back there. But the winner sat cosily, travelled nicely, sort of midfield, and Charlie Bishop just looked as if he was just continuously squeezing him into the bridle, but he sort of continued to pick up to every urging Charlie gave him.
Morris Dancer, William Buick, he does like to give himself options here at Goodwood, and he's come to the outside, which he generally favours. Sheen Murphy on Goodwood Galaxy. He's just trying to get his horse to to pick up the bridle and run. Eventually he does. He's run a really good race in fourth.
Yeah, for an inexperienced horse, he has run really well. You can see he possibly didn't come down the stiffest part of the hill that well, but he's ran on. He's ended up finishing third, I think, just got Dorset
Fourth,
there on the line.
I think he was in the end.
So,
I think he was fourth, yeah, because the July Stakes runner-up, Do or Do Not, was third.
So they've ended up, he's ran seriously well, and you know, for a horse with only the one start at Salisbury so far, he's one to keep an eye on, isn't he? And possibly stay further. He might be a miler in time. Humidity disappointed me a little bit. I thought he came through to go and win his race and then just didn't really find an extra gear, didn't really pick up again. No obvious excuses. He settled nicely.
He's just been done for a bit of pace here.
Quite possibly. Stiffer track at Ascot, isn't it? And that suited him last time. Maybe he has got done for a little bit of pace late on.
Zavateri has won, and he was going on again right at the line, and with the ears pricked fairly soon after. Who knows where the bottom of this horse is? He's done really well to win here under a penalty. Tells you it can't be too far off a Group 1 performance. I think that's where he's got to go now.
Oh, he has to. He absolutely deserves to. He's unbeaten. You know, he's proven his stamina here. You could argue that a stiffer 7 furlongs will help him. He's, for me, certain to get the mile as well. So there's nice options going into the autumn now, and yeah, I wouldn't be afraid if the ground came up a little bit soft either. He seems pretty versatile.
He's by Without Parole, who stands at Newsells Park stud, a St James's Palace Stakes winning son of Frankel. Without Parole, who was raced and bred by the Gunters, who bred this horse as well as Zavateri. Typically well bought by Mick and Janice Mariscotti, who scour the sales in search of horses who are they think are just a little under the radar, and they've absolutely nailed it here.
Oh, they have, and you know, he's with the right trainer as well, isn't he? I mean, Eve's had the most phenomenal season with her 2-year-olds once again. Eve really complimentary about the sire, and I think she sent a couple of her own mares to Without Parole because of this horse, because he just shows such a good attitude, straightforward, he's strong. You can see he's going to make a 3-year-old. He's got enough scope to do so, and yeah, he absolutely was well found and well bought.
Yeah, Eve Johnson Houghton went within a whisker of winning a super sprint. She's won a Windsor Castle, a July Stakes, and now a Vintage Stakes. This horse onwards and upwards, and you'd imagine it'll be the Dewhurst, the ultimate target at the end of the season. Yeah,
and although it's the different Newmarket track, he's proven that he handled the July track perfectly well, and I think a stiff, you know, up the hill over 7 furlongs, you can see him really strong to the line, and they should be, one, very proud of what they've achieved so far, but 2, excited with what could still be to come with this horse.
And I suspect another man who's very happy with this result is Dave Nevison, who said to you at the beginning of the programme, this horse had the best form. Best form he had indeed. That form franked by the 3rd as well, and he's done it today under a penalty, and he's gone in at a very rewarding price.
Yes, indeed, Nick. A pretty hefty late market drift for Zavateri, but he's proved too strong. Cracking finish between him and Morris Dancer. A real thriller, wasn't it? Looking at the sectionals, Morris Dancer was that little bit faster in the final 2 furlongs and had a little bit of a stronger finishing speed according to Race IQ data, but it was the game, the tough, the tenacious Zavateri on the far side, who remains unbeaten, is now 3 from 3, and that, under a penalty, was his finest performance to date. Stepping up to 7 furlongs, 8 is going to be no problem, is it? A mile in the future, you'd think Zavateri will excel over. Today, though, it was the Coral Vintage Stakes 7 furlong trip. He was that little bit too strong. 8-1, Charlie Bishop and Eve Johnson Houghton. What a couple of months for her. A Hackwood Stakes, a July Stakes, and now a Vintage Stakes. And she just missed out in the Super Sprints as well. Second was Morris Dancer, 22-1, and third, Do or Do Not, at 7-1. What about the winning time? It was a quick first time. That was much slower. They crawled early on. 1:26.43, 2.13 seconds above standards. Right, Dave Nevison alongside. That was quite a performance under a penalty there.
I think it was, and I didn't realise when I first watched it, and I want to watch it again now, that I think Morris Dancer actually headed, hit the front, and there was a protracted battle, but it's just the gameness of this horse. Had to be switched. I don't think it can be regarded as any interference. It was just race riding, but yeah, went sideways instead of forward for a few strides. So so it looks though maybe didn't quite head Zavateri, but that horse just clearly doesn't give up. You know, fantastic. We've eulogised about Eve Johnson Houghton's success in recent seasons rather than just this season, but particularly this season. And with this horse, he'll have no choice now but to go for Group 1s a very limited number of options, but they're all terrific options to take. And I'm sure he'll show up, because that's what she does with her horses. They do show up, and they and if they continue to run like that, then they're going to have more success. I mean, there was just nothing not to like about the performance.
I know that she had Rager Bambi win the Hackwood earlier in the season, a couple of weeks ago. It could turn out to be that Zavateri is the best horse she's had for some time. Yeah,
I mean, she's a trainer who possibly doesn't get the credit that she deserves, but I mean, every time I'm on, she seems to be interviewed after a winner, so maybe we should start taking a little bit more notice. But look, he beat a horse with a high reputation in Dorset, who I didn't think there was any excuses for. He was beaten soundly. You've got a feel for the Ed Walker horse,
I know,
who was third this time instead of second, but still ran really well. But the form was there. You know, Zavateri was entitled to beat it, and did so again. So do or do not maintains his title as possibly the highest rated and most consistent maiden 2-year-old there is so far this season, but he will win races. He doesn't do anything wrong. He just gets beaten by very good horses.
Yeah, and he had a clear run, unlike Zavateri, who had to switch at a crucial moment and still won.
Yeah, and Morris Dancer, you know, not often you see a Godolphin, John Gosden, William Buick horse at 22 to 1 or whatever it was, but he had his best clogs on today, and he gave it his best, but it wasn't good enough to beat a very game winner.
Catching up with Charles Bishop, who's just won the Group 2 Vintage Stakes on board Zavateri, who carried a penalty victory after his July Stakes win also. That was a very smart performance. Talk me through how the race worked out for you.
A little bit messy, but we didn't really have a plan. We just didn't want to be in a hurry. I thought I was in sort of one off the rail coming up the hill. Next thing I was 2.5, 3 wide, so had to come back again and follow Tom Marquand round into the straight. Just didn't want to be wide turning in. Then when I lit him up, he cut through them easily, and Williams come over the top and headed him. He probably didn't see him straight away, and then he battled down really good. And yeah, not only is he very good, he's got a massive heart.
For me, that was the most impressive thing, when Morris Dancer came to him, got just in front of him, and he battled back. I mean, he's some horse.
Yeah, he's got a great will to win, which is lovely. And yeah, like I say, he's obviously very good, and we can't forget about that side of it, but he's extremely easy to ride. He doesn't pull. He's extremely genuine. His trainer's pretty easy to ride for. No, listen, it's a massive performance, wasn't it, with the penalty? We
were bowling the 2,000 guineas at you and at Eve immediately after the July Stakes. Now we can seriously start to think about it, can't we?
Yeah, we're getting closer, aren't we, step by step. I'm not sure how much more racing he'll have this year, but the Dewhurst will be where he works back from. So after that, then I think we can talk about the guineas.
And were you confident of that, the mile in the long term?
I think so. I mean, he's seen the 7 out extremely well today, headed and rallied again, and was strong.
So exciting, Charles. Many congratulations. Well done.
Thanks, Lydia. Thank you very much.
Well, Zavateri just keeps winning. First of all, it was at Salisbury, then it was the July Stakes Group 2, and now with a penalty winning the Vintage Stakes over 7. We were talking about the 2,000 guineas after that. We can seriously talk about it now, can't we?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's just so tough, isn't he? He had to win his race twice. He came to win it, and then William came at him, and he had to go again. He just amazes me. What a dude he is. What a lovely, lovely horse.
Charles was just talking about how straightforward it is. The talent is all there, but also he's straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a bit toey when he gets to the races, only because he wants to get on with it. It's like, come on, come on, come on, playtime, playtime. But apart from that, he is just so straightforward. He's straightforward through the race, he's straightforward at home. You know, my staff do an amazing job, but actually, he's not a hard ride. So everyone who rides him loves him. He's easy to do. So touch wood, long may it last.
Talk me through the choice of this race, because it's quite punchy to come here with a penalty in a Group 2 against some progressive horses.
It's very punchy, but the thing is, where else do you go? I mean, you know, he's going to have to take a Group 3 £3 Group 2 penalty somewhere, because the Group 1s aren't until September, October. There isn't anywhere else to go. So it was either here or wait to Doncaster. And I thought, we'll go here and then we can have a nice break until the Dewhurst. That's, you know, and I said, you know, if we lose, we lose. It'll be the £3 penalty beats and nothing else. But he didn't.
He certainly didn't. And I think you've locked onto, I think everybody has, the particularly impressive part, where he was headed and battled back.
Yeah. I mean, he cut through the pack like a knife through butter. I was like, oh, come on, boy, come on. I was like, oh, we've won this. And I thought, oh, no, there's that naughty William Buick. Go away. And but, yeah, he was so tough, wasn't he? So tough. And, you know, he was going again, wasn't he?
He really was. So, Dewhurst, only remaining start this season?
Possibly. I mean, I put him in the Jean-Luc Lagardère as well, obviously, as a backup. But let's see.
And then 2,000 guineas?
My God, aren't we dreaming? Aren't we dreaming? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
He's bred to get it. He's got the temperament to get it. At this stage, it looks like he's got the class to get it. Why not?
Yeah, why wouldn't he? Exactly. Why wouldn't he get it?
And the meaning for your yard. I mean, we talked about this after the July Stakes, and you know, clearly it's huge boost to have a horse as good as this. To have Van Hurricane later in the week as well in the Richmond. What's the feel like?
Well, I mean, I walked in this morning, people going, well, what do you got? And I went, far too many. I've got far too many runners here because I'm going to walk home with my tail between my legs thinking, oh, what am I doing here? I should be back at Brighton. But actually, it's really nice to be winning here. I'm quite liking it. And yeah, much as I love Brighton, don't get me wrong, quite like winning at Goodwood.
How about the chances of a Group 2 double with Havana Hurricane?
Wow, that would be something, wouldn't it? So, yeah, he's in great form. He's done nothing wrong. I think 6 furlongs will really suit him. Now we know to hold on to him for a bit longer. We obviously kicked too soon at Epsom, but, you know, that we learned. So, yeah, why not?
Okay, well, best of luck for the whole busy week and many congratulations here. And you can dream, I think.
Thank you so much. It's amazing.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.